Welcome back. Trying out some new equipment today. My Fancy Dan DSLR camera. I'm having such a hard time picking up all the light on the night shoots. So I figured that I would give it a shot with the good old larger aperture, larger light collection, bigger, what do they call those boards that catch all the light for the digital cameras? The digital film. Larger digital film stock than a phone has. It's amazing to me what kind of technology we can pack into our pockets these days. Like, with all the limitations of the digital phone aside, you know, and real photographers and stuff are gonna tell you, like, no, it's not a real camera, alright? It's not a real camera. You know, they have that voice, you know, because they're douchey hipster types. But it's amazing. It is amazing the amount of quality you can get from a thing in your pocket. And then go surf the internet with it and, like, take notes and talk to your friends and, like, actually talk to your friends if you're, like, super old-fashioned. Try to avoid that, except for, like, when I call my wife at night. Almost said call my knife at white, and that's a horrifying Freudian slip. Back in the beater car today. It's probably gonna rain. The weather's supposed to get super nice tomorrow, which means it's almost certainly gonna rain before it does, because that's how it does, you know? You get the cold front thrown through and the air is like, oh my goodness! This air is cold, now we have to drop all the moisture. I watched some of Hairspray today. I have to watch more of it when I get home from work because I didn't finish it. It's like 90% of how I watch movies these days is I watch like the first hour at one point and the other hour at another point. I feel like I'm not enough of a film purist when I do that. Like, I feel like there's somebody out there who loves films and watches them all the way through, and this person's getting mad at me because I don't watch the whole film all the way through every time. Or really very many times. Sort of a whole subset of the debate about the shift from cinema-centric movie making to, you know, the home theater experience, which there's not really. It's interesting because that's a whole, I mean, that's been going on, right? Like, cinema's been around for more than 100 years now. Well, let's just cap it at like 100 years for simplicity's sake. And then if you go back, TV's been around for 60 years. We've had TV shows and stuff on the small screen. I don't know, I think they had TV movies fairly soon on. I know they did in the 40s. You had things like Rope, and was Rope in the 40s? You know what, I don't even know. But the point is, like, it's not like cinema was the exclusive way to view movies for very long. And yet there's been this huge, just really gradual shift. Like, just little bit by little bit, it's kind of changing from cinema-centric to home-centric. And it's interesting to me how slowly that's happened. And there are people who predict, like, in the next 5 to 10 years, like, cinema will be dead. The death of cinema. I just don't see it. I mean, I'll watch movies on my phone all day long. Not literally all day long. I do work and things, but it just doesn't make sense to me to make that kind of judgment. That all of a sudden, like, the theater experience is going to be gone. It's not going to be gone. People are dumb. So here we are, the end of another day. Good day today. No complaints. No big mistakes. We only had the one truck, so that's always nice when we only have to do one thing instead of like double. Getting done early is like its whole own extra thing, because then you have to help out. Oh, I don't want any headlights on. Holy crap. I was wondering why I couldn't see the road after I got out of the parking lot. Turns out you need light for that. Anyway, had an interesting discussion today and kind of led me to start thinking about some stuff. I had a discussion with at Priority and Default on Twitter, and we were going back and forth a little bit about robots and automata and the three laws of robotics, and got me thinking a little about what artificial intelligence is. And really, I guess here's the question, right? We've built science fiction around this whole idea of a mechanical mind that is exactly like a human mind, except for faster, but basically like a human mind. They can interface with, also computery stuff. So, I guess my basic question is, we've already got 7 billion meat brains in skulls that work like human brains already. What's the point of building another one out of a computer? How does that help us advance as a civilization? I understand, I guess for purposes of study and research, if you understand what consciousness is and kind of how it works enough to be able to create it artificially, that's a cool idea. I get that, but I guess to me the more interesting aspect of computers now is that they're, we don't need to create something that works like us when we can create something that does the things we can't do, right? Like the first computers we make are calculators, really, really giant, inefficient, not working very well calculators. And I think that is sort of an indicator of how computer technology can be used. The interesting thing is, we've already got, okay, think about this with me for a second. The ideal science fiction intelligence, artificial intelligence, is like a human, but it can interface with computers, and has all that technology as well. If you think about that, we've got that already. It's us. We've got the meat brain that we came with, when we were born, and we also have the entirety of the World Wide Web at our fingertips at all times. We are HAL 9000. It's pretty legit. Think on that for a while.